Hi,
Hi.
I'm Erno of ErnoMoney.com. I'm a mentor, author, and speaker on attracting clients. And today I'm talking to Florien Versteegh. Hi, Florien, how are you?
Hi, Anno. I'm good, thanks.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you do.
Okay, I live in Amsterdam, and I started my own business only about 6 months ago. So I'm a starter, and I work as a virtual assistant. So I provide secretarial administrative support to entrepreneurs, basically small business owners. And I really enjoy it, I must say. Yeah.
Only 6 months, huh?
Yeah.
And what is it you exactly do? Because you said you're a virtual assistant, you support people, but what do you do then?
Yeah, well, so I work as a secretary, assistant, whatever you name it, and I do it from my own home. That's why it's called virtual. In the Netherlands, it's not so well known yet. Whenever I say to people I work as a VA, because that's how we abbreviate it, they say, what? What? Oh, so nobody ever heard of it, apart from the small number of entrepreneurs. And so I provide anything a secretary normally would do for you. For some clients, I read their emails and I also reply to, whenever people send them emails. I do proofreading of articles, of newsletters. I help them with the newsletter systems. Well, you name it.
And how did you came with the idea to start this business?
Well, I worked as an assistant in a big company for almost 5 years, and after I was a bit fed up being a slave, so to say, as an employee. And I thought, okay, I love this job. I love being a secretary. I love being an assistant. I think I'm good at it. Why not start my own business then? I have the freedom to work my own hours, to decide when that. So I just did it. I just quit my job, and it was not a decision that you take in one day, of course. But last year I quit my job and I started my own business.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and you worked for Philips, right?
Yes, I did.
And that's also because I see a lot of virtual assistants. I know, of course, a VA. I use them. But you concentrate right now on the Netherlands, but you also have an English website, so you want to go international.
Yes, the English website is quite new. Actually, this week it's online. And I have a few clients who work internationally in the first place. So I thought, okay, if a client of my client wants to see who this Florien Versteegh is that she gets replies from, and she wants to look at my website, I thought it's handy if it's in English.
Right.
And and also maybe in the future, why not work also for international clients? I mean, Netherlands is a small country, and since it's virtual, I can work for anybody, and
right.
in English. So, yeah, quite ambitious.
And because I came with the idea of a virtual assistant from the book from Timothy Ferriss, The 4-Hour Workweek.
Yeah.
And you read the book as well?
Yeah. And I hear that a lot, that people use that as inspiration.
Right.
Yeah.
But the examples you get there is often that they use people from India, for example.
Yeah.
And of course, it's a lot has to do with pricing. How do you see that as from Europe, where pricing is a little bit higher than in India, for example? I guess it's probably like a double at least, if not 4 times more.
Exactly, and even worse. Yeah, that's an interesting example, the book of Timothy Ferriss, because I don't see it as a competition, because my main business is still in Dutch, and the people I work for, do their business in Dutch. But if I were an English or American VA, I would be worried. On the other hand, there are also always things that you need a personal approach to. And the VAs in India, you send stuff, whatever, like easy jobs, and they do it overnight or something. I read the examples, and it's interesting. And I also, actually, somebody told me recently that he went to travel to Canada, and he found somebody, a Canadian VA, who arranged, a car rental and everything for him, also for $3 an hour.
Oh, wow.
And I said, oh, that's worrying. And I said, yeah, but my personal VA would never be somebody like that. I would want to know him or her. So,
right.
But it's an interesting subject, yeah.
And who is your ideal client?
My ideal client is an extremely ambitious business owner, entrepreneur, professional, how you would like to call them. And he or she, surprisingly, is very organized. You would think that, I can help people who are not organized to organize their business, but I learned from experience also, even in the only 6 months I worked as VA, I learned that I don't want to work for those people. I'm not a professional organizer. And I like, and it's very inspiring for me also, if my client is very organized. And ambitious, and my ideal client is ready to grow really big. That's why they hire me as well.
Right. And they want to stay. They want to grow big, but they want to stay independent. So they want to work with as less people as they can. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. And the ideal, the most ideal client, of course, has a whole team that works for him or her. A virtual assistant, a web designer, and a bookkeeper, a whole team.
Right. Yeah. And do you also help people to find other people in this team?
Yes, I try to grow my network, so I can always say to people, "Oh, I know this really good IT guy," or whoever. Yeah, or maybe even other virtual assistants. Because sometimes people come to me and I don't have time, or they need something, let's say, very technical, which is not my expertise, so I send them to other assistants.
Have you had any idea how many VAs there are in the Netherlands?
No. I do know that there are only a few. That sounds a bit arrogant, but there are only a few that are really good. There are a few names I know, and that's it. I know from experience, I know from other clients that she was looking for a VA, she couldn't find one. And then she found one and she was not satisfied. So I would say to everyone, start your own business if you're a secretary. And there's a big market.
Yeah, I have the same feeling. I feel that a lot of people I talk to that are, they're independent professionals and they're looking for VAs. Yeah. Because if you're from the Netherlands, but the same probably is true if you're from Germany or France. There is not a lot of. If you work in English, you can outsource to India and you can go to those countries because they speak very good English. Yeah. But if you have like a language that is not very spoken out around the world, then you need somebody in your own country or somebody else's country. But in general, they're a little bit more expensive than the examples by Timothy. Yeah. And. But I also see the same thing. I see that there's really a lack of enough virtual assistants in these countries that can support these ambitious people. Yeah. You have a completely different background before you started working as a secretary. Something with art I see in your LinkedIn profile, for example.
Yes, I was educated as a cellist, a classical musician, and I worked as a cellist for many, many years. And of course, your next question is, of course, why did you change careers?
Well, I think I love music, so I can understand that you want to work with music, and you still do make music today.
Yes, I do not play the cello anymore, though. It's in our living room, standing there, just being beautiful, and I have a love-hate relationship with the instrument. But I do play the piano, and I take singing lessons since a couple of months, which. I love. Right. I'm not really good at it, but that's okay. I'm an amateur. I don't have to perform on stage. People don't have to listen to me.
And how do you see the relationship between music and what you do today?
Well, first of all, of course, music is essential to listen to music, and in my case, to play the piano. It relaxes me, and it makes me really happy. Singing as well, and then. Also, my experience as a musician, I feel that I can really use it in my work as an entrepreneur and as an assistant. For instance, as a musician, you have to be really disciplined because you have to practice every day.
Right.
So that helps me because when I work from home, you need some self-discipline. Of course, you know that as well. And then, as a musician, you also learn to be service-minded in a way. When you're playing in a big orchestra, you have to take initiative, but at the same time, you have to listen to the conductor or the leader, whoever is in the lead. So you have to be very alert to what other people do at the same time. Yeah, stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And you work with famous Dutch musicians as well. I saw that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm still wondering when you are also gonna take up a little bit more of that as a professional too, because I cannot imagine that you will say goodbye to that forever, because it's, to me, the total creative thing that is out there is music. Music is the best creative thing that you can have. Everybody enjoys listening to it, or enjoys making it, enjoys designing it. So for me, music is the ultimate creative tool that you can have. I
totally agree. But I'm not. I said goodbye to an active life as a musician, but I am in touch with musicians, and even actually through Facebook found somebody who, from about 20 years ago, a study mate of mine, after 20 years we found each other again on Facebook, and she said, hey, and then she looked at my website and said, oh, that's really fascinating, can I hire you? So I am in touch with the music world, but in a different role, and that's good. It's good for me. Yeah.
So now, talking about you attracted a client from Facebook. How do you attract clients?
In my case, to be honest, it's word to mouth only, and my website, because I hired a really good copywriter.
Right.
And she's amazing, and I get many people who have a look at my Dutch website and say, wow, that's really fascinating. I would like to hire you. So that's really interesting. And so in my case, one client said, oh, Florien Versteegh is really good. You should hire her too. So that's how it came. I'm very, very happy, of course. It's a very luxury position that people come to me, actually.
No, I don't think that's not a luxury position. I think that's a choice you make how you work, and
okay.
And maybe it's not something you think about in the beginning, but I think it's a good choice that you make, that people need to come to you instead of you chasing the potential clients.
Yeah.
So you say your website, well, at least one person came via a social network, and word of mouth. You have a blog, right?
Yes.
You write the post there yourself, or do you use the copywriter there too?
No, that I do myself.
Right.
And I just started, so maybe I have 3 or 4 articles now. And the last one is the first article I used in a newsletter, Easy. So that's all very new, but I love doing it, I must say.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have you just started your newsletter, your first one you just sent out.
Yeah.
So, and how many subscribers do you have now?
I have about 25 or so.
Right. So that's something you want to grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And there should come clients from that too, in my experience.
Yes. No, interestingly, I even have the situation now a couple of weeks ago that I had to say, I don't take any new clients because I'm too full. So it's, again, a luxury or a choice. So in my case, writing articles and newsletters is actually the main goal is not even to attract clients. In my case, it's more to show my expertise, and also because I force myself to write about in my work, then also makes me become more an expert. That's my goal.
Right.
And of course, if clients come from it, it's great. But yeah, again, it's interesting.
Well, expertise gains trust. And trust gains clients, so that's
exactly.
That's self-fulfilling right now.
Yes, and I'm not saying that I don't. Of course, clients should come to me, but then maybe I would have to ask my colleague VAs if they have time, or find a construction. Yeah.
Right. You use social media. I see. What tool do you use the most? Which makes you most happy?
I must say Twitter I really like, but also I find it a bit dangerous.
Dangerous. Why?
Yeah, it's a bit addictive. So sometimes I just don't use it for a week or so because okay, now concentrate on my work and not Twitter all the time.
Right.
And I try to use it really business wise. Not only like I'm going for a walk now. Nobody's interested in that. But the thing is, I love to follow a lot of people, and then people, for instance, like you, they come with, oh, here's an interesting article, or here's an interesting link. So I look at that, and I love doing that, but it's time consuming, so I have to be careful.
yeah, you gotta make sure, because there's a lot of noise out there, you gotta make sure that you read the right stuff that's interesting for you.
Yeah.
I saw on your site you have a number of services that you offer. I mean, you give suggestions what you can do as a virtual assistant for your clients. I don't see any products that you have right now. Do you have any thoughts about that? Do you want to start making products, or do you think about, no, I just want to stick to services?
Products, well, the one thing I do think about is, again, for the longer term, in the future, maybe I can write an ebook, and where I tell entrepreneurs how to deal with a VA or something like that. Or maybe even in the longer term, I write ebooks or guidelines for other VAs. How to, something like that. That's in my mind there, yeah.
I think there's a need for that too.
Me too. That's why I keep thinking about it. But then, I need to build up my expertise first, I think, a bit. And then also, after more time, I can speak more from experience. And I'm learning a lot now, so but I do make notes now and then. Yeah,
well, expertise that's of course an interesting topic, because when you have an expertise to write an ebook, I mean, I think in general, if you know more than the people around you, then you're an expert in their eyes. And if you're looking from your own point of view, you're never an expert, right? So that's a dangerous situation.
That's you're right.
It will take you forever to become an expert. I know what I'm talking, because I always think I'm still not an expert, and people tell me, no, you're an expert, but I'm still looking into to new things and advancing and learning more. So in my own eyes, I'm still no expert on some of the topics I'm working on.
Okay.
And when I'm listening to you, I think that you have similar feelings.
Yeah, true.
What is it you do? What is it, because you have different services that you offer. What is it you do that makes you the most money? What is your money maker?
The money maker is actually my biggest client. The more hours I work, and one client I really work like 10 hours a week. So that it's 40 hours a month. So that's my biggest money maker.
Right.
And she's growing. So the money makers are actually the clients who are actually, all of them are growing. But I would say that's the money maker.
Right. And can you make us an image of what do you do? How do you take work over from your clients? I'm thinking as I'm an independent professional, and I'm looking at this video, and I want to learn. So okay, I think I want to outsource some of my work, but how does this work? How do I do this, and how can you help me?
Okay, well, first of all, if you think of hiring me, what I always do, I call it the VA check, and it's like an intake, and in that we discuss together what I could do for you.
Right.
And then I can help you with suggestions, or you can make a list. I usually say to people, make a list of things that you don't want to do, or you don't have time to do, and I see what I can do for you. And then usually we try for about a month or so, or that's one option. The other option is, and that I did with some clients, they gave me one thing to do. For instance, find out the cheapest mobile subscription. And they can give it to me, and I want to have a list of all the options next week or something like that. I do it for them, and if they're satisfied, they can decide to give me more.
Right.
Yeah, and some people just say, some people. One client of mine used to work with another VA, and he or she stopped. I don't know, and she just said, "Oh, I want to hire you for 3 hours a week. Can you?" And then she just tells me what to do simply. Yeah, it's very simple.
Yeah, it sounds very simple, but I don't think it's very simple. I know from experience it's not simple, because every time when you bump into small tasks and then you think, okay, I can just do that myself easily if I just learn somebody else to do it for me.
Yeah.
And then the week after you have the same thing coming up again. You go like, oh shit, I should have just teach somebody. Now I have to do it again.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, because you need to invest some time yourself if you hire someone.
Right.
And I know many professionals think, oh, I can do it myself. I can do it even better. And also, I don't trust somebody else to do it. Well, first of all, you have to let go of that. Then you need to invest some time to explain to your VA how you want them to do it.
Right.
And once that's settled, you can just say, you go ahead. And so that's why it's important to be, in a way, to be organized yourself. And, if your company is a big mess, well, why should you hire someone? Unless you hire somebody full time,
right,
who can do everything for you. But even then, you would need to invest some time first to explain how you want your business to run. And of course, it takes some time in the beginning for both people, for both the VA and the business owner,
right,
to find a way of working. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. How do you keep a wealthy balance between, as an entrepreneur, since 6 months an entrepreneur, and your life and your family? Because you have a relationship for 2 years now, I see.
Yeah. Where do you see that?
Yeah, I see. I read stuff before I start an interview, right?
Oh yeah, there was on Twitter, right?
Yes. You share and I read.
Yeah, good. Yes, a very happy relationship. Yeah, it's a good question, because the good thing of being an entrepreneur is that you can work whenever you want, and that's also the downfall. And I think you and all entrepreneurs know that. So yeah, and my partner is an entrepreneur as well,
right,
and works from home most of the time as well. And even worse, we sit in the same office, even next to each other. So sometimes people say to us, "Are you crazy? Your partner? And you even work." And to make it even worse, she's also a client of mine. Well, anyway, that's an exceptional case. But to get back to your question, yeah, it's dangerous. We have to tell each other sometimes, like in the evenings, we don't talk about work. As simple as that, because otherwise we just keep talking about our businesses. And sometimes that's not very healthy.
And do you work set hours, or do you work even evenings sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes, but I'm trying not to do it anymore. I did it in the beginning, but then of course, I got migraines and pains in my arm because sitting and working from a computer, it was too much. So not so long ago, I said to myself, okay, I work set hours, and what I do, I make the schedules, for the clients I work for. And it's for instance, one client A, I work 1 hour a day. Client B, I work 3 hours a day, and then just set schedules, and also force myself to make to have breaks and move more.
Right.
Otherwise, you just sit all day.
No, I agree. And do you, because it's we are always on now. We have our phone, we have our iPads, or notebooks on our laps, but do you have also a moment when you shut down, where you don't do anything with the internet, for example, the social networkings?
I must admit, I only shut down my mobile phone at night. But it's the first thing I do in the morning. Switch it on and see if there's email.
Oh, that's a dangerous step.
Yeah, I know I shouldn't do it, but
I just read this article of Brigitte.
I read the same.
Yeah, she's saying
she's okay.
Never ever start your day with an email, because it's and I know from experience it happens, and I start my day with reading to just prevent that situation.
Oh, that's good.
And I read a book, because otherwise you live by your Gmail or by your inbox, and that's not the way you want to live, of course.
No, but in the evening, thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, no, I know it's not just about you. I think everybody has the same situation, and Brigitte also she acknowledged that sometimes she goes back into the same situation, because it's addictive almost, right? To check your inbox, and that's the dangerous situation there.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's your goal in business or in life? What's your goal?
My goal would be freedom. It's financial freedom, but also the freedom to do what I want to do, what I like to do.
And when do you consider that you have reached that goal?
That's a good question. I think I'm on my way because I'm really happy in what I do.
That's what I mean.
Work-wise.
Yeah.
It's coming, and and in my case, I help other people grow their business and create freedom and make them do what they want to do. So that is really, it gives me good feeling.
I can understand. Yes, I see that too. Okay. Just one more thing, because people want to get in touch with you, of course. Now, how do people find you? Where can they find you online?
They can find me first of all my website florienversteegh.nl or .com.
Right.
Twitter. My Twitter name is Florien VA, and on Facebook I have a personal profile, but you should then go to my company fan page. Florien Versteegh, just type it in Facebook. That's it, I think. I'm not on Google Plus yet.
And Florien, that's Florien, right?
Exactly.
And Versteegh is Versteegh.
Yeah, impossible name for international people, but...
That's why I'm pronouncing it, so people can find you if they want to look
Great.
for you.
Yeah, thanks.
And thank you very much for your call, for this time, Florien. And we'll see you when you are, really big and at your goal. I'd love to see that.
Thanks, and thank you for your time.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.